Because we have the best hair on homebrew detritus. Damn right we
Agreed.
do. No, you put a lot of fucking work into your hair with your fucking individual braided, individual colors and shit.
They are locks.
Yeah, that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put this in blank terms. I can't black hair, black people hair is different from my hair, and I have no fucking idea about it. Except kind of recently I saw a video where it talks about like women doing like the acid washing and like all this other shit that fucks up their hair, like to keep it straight.
Oh, you're talking about like a chemical relaxer.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
leaves
yeah.
burns and shit.
Yes. Uh-huh. My grandma used to relax my hair when I was little. Excuse me. When I was little, she used to relax my hair, but not often because it can burn you, and it does, like if you leave it on too long, your hair could break.
What exactly does it
And
do?
it just like chemically straightens your hair. Like
Okay.
it's funny, it's like we call it perming, but you guys call perming curling your hair.
Oh, see, I would have never got that.
Yeah, it's
I would
like
have
it's the
realized.
exact opposite.
So instead of a
of,
chemical straightener, we use a chemical stressor.
Mhm.
Nah, dude.
Yeah. It's funny though, like you said that about how like black people hair is like different than white people hair. Like
Yeah,
it is and it isn't. It's just like very curly hair for the most part. And
yeah.
that's what I was like. I was telling that to Frakes and he was like, huh, wow. You know?
Like it is still hair, but I think we learned this
Yeah.
in school. It's like the follicles themselves are like stupidly like curly or something.
Yeah. Like even like if my hair is cut, like if it's easy for ingrown hairs to happen
Is it?
because like let's say like facial hair, like a dude's facial hair. If
All
a
right.
like if a black dude doesn't keep their facial hair cut short, like when it grows out, it doesn't necessarily always just grow out. It can grow curled because it's curly. That's just how it is. So like
Yeah.
sometimes it'll grow curled and instead of growing out, it'll grow ingrown. And then
So it comes out and then goes back into itself, or you're saying it comes out curly and has ingrown hair?
it can come out curly as an ingrown hair, or the second option where it goes out and comes back in. Like it's like
Oh, I don't like that.
it's just kind of a pain in the dick to keep short short, like because like facial hair, like like I
No,
hesitate to call it pubic hair,
no.
but it
It's
is.
listen. Have you seen mine?
Well, I mean, it is though. Like it's different than like like the hair in your arm or like the hair, like it's like everybody's got like hair on their face. Like
Yeah,
everybody's like a little bit furry all
yeah.
over.
We're big old monkey
Even
people.
yeah, like even the parts that don't look hairy, there's like usually like some like little thin
Really tiny
hairs
hairs.
there. Yeah. But like the hair that starts to grow when you hit puberty, like, beard, mustache, that
Hmm.
type of hair is like a different
No, it is.
texture,
Like
you know?
I have really big fucking curls, but my
Mm-hmm.
fucking beard hair is, you said it, very much like pubic hair, where it's like
Yeah.
short and curly. Like mine doesn't grow down like most people. Mine looks kind of like puffs out.
Mm.
Like fucking Kevin's hair. Kevin's beard hair is a lot different from mine because his actually grows down. My mom's like, "Why does yours always go out instead of down?"
It's like because
I haven't shaved my
it's
face
got the
in like,
poof.
yeah, and I haven't shaved my face in like 5 years. It's a
I
mystery
haven't
under there.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen you. I think I might have seen like a picture on
No, it's not
Facebook
good.
maybe or something, but I don't think I've ever seen you without facial
Listen,
hair.
it's how I had my double chin. I got one.
That's
You'll never
I
see it.
mean, some people that's their thing. But like, even women get like facial hair,
Mm-hmm.
and like for me, like I'll get a few like on my chin or whatever, and those usually start ingrown. And it's like
Oh,
it
really?
feels like, oh, okay, there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden it pops out and it's like 6 inches long or whatever because it
Oh, yeah, you
was
pull it and it keeps coming out like a spool.
Yeah, it was like under my skin. And it's like, I'm exaggerating a bit when I say 6 inches, but like, yeah, it's like super long. It's like, where did you come from? You were hiding under there. Underwear under there. Ha ha ha. Okay. I'll stop. That's dumb. But yeah, like, I don't know.
Because I hate
It's,
that whole stigma too of like guys aren't supposed to shave their bodies. Because I would much rather be hairless from the neck down.
I don't understand how you guys go without it. Like, I'm not a very hairy person in general. Like anywhere. Like I shaved my lips once when I was 13 just for shits and giggles because I thought I was supposed to. And I was like, well, maybe I should do this. But I don't like you've seen my legs. I don't have to shave my legs. I'm just not hairy.
No, and there's like I
And
had a girlfriend who only had needed to shave her legs like once every 3 months.
yeah, like she'd still be mad at me because I don't like I don't. I'm 38 years old and I've only shaved my legs once, and that's just because I thought I was supposed to, but like I don't unless my leg unless I'm wet, like I just got out of the pool or something
Yeah,
and the hair is drying, then you might see like some droplets hanging off the edge of it. Like I have hair on my legs, but it's like thin, like
it's like
it's
arm
like the
hair
same. Yeah, it's like that,
or like
that
face
hair that's
hair.
on your cheek or whatever. Yeah, not your cheek, but my
Yeah, mine's a little
cheek.
different.
Yeah, like I'm just not a hairy person, but I couldn't imagine having like big bushy like
Ass hair.
pubic hair and like, oh god no,
So
oh
here's the
god
thing.
no.
I was always confused. Like, man, people talk about ass hairs like that. I don't have ass hair. My butt's smooth naturally, and it's great. So whenever I hear people talk about ass hair, I'm like, what the fuck? For the longest time, I was like, oh, I'm the weird one for not having ass hair
When you say ass hair, you mean like on the actual
on
cheeks?
the butt cheeks.
Wow.
That's more
I don't
common than I thought.
I don't know. I've never met anybody with like besides a few babies. Like I've seen a few babies that
Hairy
are
ass
just like
babies.
furry, all like oh, their whole back is like furry,
Oh yeah,
like
and
their
it's still
entire
those like
backside.
tiny hairs, but it's
Yeah.
like weirdly. I know what you mean. It's like weirdly like the hairs are big in comparison.
Uh-huh, because they're babies, they're tiny people. But like I don't think I've ever seen anybody with a hairy ass unless they like just shaved it or something and I didn't know. I mean, I can't by any means say I haven't seen a bunch of asses because I have, but I've just not seen any hairy ones. Wow. I used to work with a guy. He was like in his late 60s, probably early 70s when I worked with him. And he had, you could tell, like, I think his wife shaved his back hair like at his t-shirt line because sometimes like
Sorry.
if he wore like a shirt with the neck stretched out, it was just like poof
Yeah.
coming out from under there.
Yeah, I don't know how fucking people live like that. Like I knew a guy who was my Egyptian friend, his name is Caldas, and he's a Middle Eastern dude. Dude is fucking hairy. And we make jokes about him all the time. He's fucking awesome. But yeah, it's like and like what like purpose does that serve for us as a people? Like honestly, hair just kind of gets in the way. It's kind of dumb in the long run.
It's kind of dumb until like as a child, I always I always wanted my hair to be very long because like
Me
even like
too.
growing up, like even when you straightened my hair, it wasn't very long. Like it probably came to like mid cheek or whatever.
She's
Like
talking
the
about
back
face
was always a
cheeks.
little longer. Yes, face cheeks. Like the back was a little longer. Like I was definitely like the mushroom curled under. My grandma did that to me. She like usually hot comb, straighten my hair, and do the bump curl under. And I walked around looking like toadstool, fucking mushroom head.
Yeah,
It's
I bet she wasn't.
horrible.
I bet she wasn't gentle either, was she?
Um, she was she wasn't not gentle. Like I'm tenderheaded and I didn't cry a lot, but the thing that was really bad, like my grandmother was really good with a hot comb, like really good. She had the
What's
old
a
school
hot
hot
comb?
comb.
Because
Now
I'm
they're
dumb.
like think now what you see is usually like think about a curling iron, but in the shape of a comb. But what my grandmother had was like even her curling iron was like it was like steel
Hmm.
and it was like a steel comb that obviously had like, I think the handle was wood, and you would put it on the stovetop. And we had a gas stove.
So it's like an old
and, like,
school iron.
yeah, like you put it on the stovetop and it gets hot, and then you use that and you comb through your hair and the heat would straighten it. Just
Oh,
like,
that's cool. Like a curl, yeah, straightening iron.
yeah. Except for it was a comb. And like even her curling iron, like she had looks like a regular curling iron, but like the handles were wood, and she put it on the stove and used that to curl her hair. And she had different sizes, a little skinny one for little skinny curls and a big fat one for fat curls or whatever. And she had like a big thick comb and a little skinny one for getting real close to the edge of your hair. But like this is partly why I kept my camera on, like like that widow's peak right there, like that hair is not very.
No, I have the same thing. I know what you mean.
It's not very like, but my grandmother would get like, she would pinch that hair and she would get that hair and straighten it without touching my skin. Like she wouldn't burn me most of the time. Like it was very rare that my grandmother burned me. But one time my grandma was out of town, and my mom was like, let me straighten your hair, because, you got to go to school tomorrow and you can't have you looking crazy at school. So she's, she sits me in the chair and she's going for the thing. And she burned me all across the front of my forehead.
Sorry, it's terrible.
And like, it was horrible. Like she stopped for a second and she was about to do the back, and I jumped out of the chair and I ran. I was like, no way. This was the only time I ever had my hair cut too, was that same weekend. She's like, let me cut off these split ends. And my hair, like I told you, I was like so excited about my hair growing, and it had gotten down to the point where it was like at my chin. And it
progress.
It was like super progress for me. And then she cut it all off. Like she cut off she's like, it's dead hair. And she cut off all the split ends, and I was back to like my cheeks again. And I was so angry with her.
But that does help it grow, though.
Literally the only time my hair has ever been cut in my entire life.
Was that the only time? For real?
Yeah, for real.
So is your hair all natural?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's kind of it's a weird question to ask. It's like, is that your real hair? Because I remember being a kid and I've always wanted long hair, but I have thick fucking hair, so it doesn't really work. And it takes I have to brush my hair like 2 times a day, or I got fucking knots and dreads that are trying to come, and I don't want dreads. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, some people. I've got a friend whose husband, white guy, he has locks, and his hair actually looks good. I think a lot of white people dreadlocks are like,
bad,
why?
Real bad.
Why did you do like why did you do that? And I feel like that's where the stigma that like dreadlocks are dirty comes from, is because like most of the time white people dreadlocks are like manufactured.
Yeah, you're letting your hair get dirty.
Yeah, like they're made from like, a bunch of dirt and gunk put in there to hold it together, whereas opposed to like my hair just being so incredibly curly that it just grabs onto each other.
It's like Velcro.
And that's how my locks are. Yeah, like that's how my locks are. They're just tight curls intertwined. And that's all it is like sectioned off. And I didn't do a very good job because I did it myself and I was 15 years old, and I was like,
it doesn't look bad, I'll tell you that though.
Well, thank you. But like the one time I've had somebody, like, I don't like people touching me. So I don't like letting other people do my hair, which is partially why I have locks to begin with. And like, I've gotten my locks done by one person. I went to Brooklyn to visit. I went to the Bronx to visit my aunt, and she took me to the girl who does her hair. She also has locks, and she did them up into a mohawk for me. She washed them, and she and did all the stuff and did them up into a mohawk for me. And it was awesome. But like the whole time she was like so annoyed with me because they were like not sectioned into like even sections. Like some are really big and some are really small. And like some of them started off as like 3 incredibly thin ones that are now like 1 thick one.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I've got some where it's like, it's 2 at the top and then 1 in the middle and then 3 at the bottom. And it's just because, and some are twisted in one direction and some are twisted in the other direction. It's like, well, I was doing it myself, and like this hand twists this way and this hand twists that way.
I guess that makes
and
sense.
Going down the back, so she's like trying to retwist it, and she's like, what direction am I supposed to turn it in? I'm like, sorry, but thank you, but sorry, but thank you.
I think we can all agree though, what doesn't look good on anybody is the one big dread.
No.
That's just dirty hair. You can't fool me. I've seen those pictures where it's like just fucking
I
massive,
mean,
gross.
even that you can wash, but it's going to be hard to get in the middle of there. It's going to be hard to get in the middle of there. I went to St. Croix, took my grandmother when she was 88, and saw this guy with locks to like the back of his heel.
Yeah, they're down there.
Yeah, like just, and he's just walking around, and I'm thinking to me, like, mine are heavy and they only come to like they graze my butt, like they're,
Like right there.
yeah, like sometimes if I sit the right way, it'll go in the crack. But for the most part, for
That's
the
funny.
most part, they're just kind of grazing that area or whatever. And I just can't imagine like him washing his hair, because that shit, once it gets wet, so crazy heavy. I feel like he
Hmm.
needs like an assistant to help him wash his hair.
Like I
But I
saw,
did see lots of people washing their hair in the ocean with just taking aloe and splitting it in half and using that to soap up and washing their locks. And I was like, that's so cool.
yeah, because apparently every shampoo I try to use, they're like, "Oh, that's fucking terrible for your hair. Why do you use that?" Because like it was cheap.
Yeah, see, that's not like, there's some things that you don't skimp on.
Well, I grew up with as a dude with super short hair. I skimped on that.
Yeah, that might be why your hair doesn't grow, because you're using shitty product.
I know, but it's expensive and I need to use a lot of it.
Yeah. No, you don't need to use as much as you think. That's this is not about hair. This is about laundry. It's a quick disclaimer. You don't need as much detergent as you think you do.
That's why I use
And
the pods.
fucking yeah, like use the right amount, and you'll be surprised the difference in your clothing. And also, fabric softener only puts a layer of like a waxy layer on your clothes. It doesn't actually make it soft. It makes it feel smooth. And that's because there's like a waxy layer on there. Don't use that shit. It's bad for your clothing. This is just a disclaimer to anybody who's listening. Fabric softener bad. Too much detergent bad. Kind of the same thing when you're washing your hair.
Now
Done.
is it shampoo and then conditioner, right?
I condition, shampoo, condition.
Oh, so you do it 3 times.
Well, yeah, but that's because my hair is takes longer to absorb the water.
I will say it was a couple weeks ago. I saw pictures of a girl who hasn't cut her hair in like 30 something years, and it was
Mm-hmm.
down to her ankles, and like that's got to be heavy, man.
Yeah, I feel like neck problems. Neck problems. That's what I think when I see anybody with like really long, thick hair. I mean, this girl who started her locks the same time I did. I call her girl, but she was like maybe 10, 15 years older than me at the time. So like she was probably 30 and I was 15. She started her locks at the same time as me. And hers grew to, she was like sitting on them all the time by accident,
Hmm.
in the time that mine were like, when I first started mine, they were so light and fluffy that they just stuck up all over the place. And like they hadn't like fallen down to where they actually like hung
Where they
yet.
had weight to them.
Yeah, and hers were like she was sitting on them and then she cut them off and then she was sitting on them and then she cut them off and then she was sitting on them again before mine even hit my shoulders.
Yeah.
So like some people's hair just grows really fast and other people's don't. I feel like you have like a genetic length that is like predetermined in you. If you were to just like never use any sort of product that would fuck up your hair growth and mess it up, or like never chemically fuck up your hair, or never like overheat your hair and fuck it up, I feel like there's like a length that it would get to and it would just naturally stop.
Like
But I
eyebrows or
luckily, yeah, well, I luckily have like a natural layers that grow in my hair, which is awesome. Like some people have to go get their hair layered, but mine just grows like that, a little shorter in the front, and it just like layers all the way to the back, so the back's longer than the front. And yeah, I don't do that on purpose. It just happens. That's
you
kind of
know,
neat.
Where are you trying to get with yours, or are you just gonna let it go?
I'm just gonna let them grow. Like once in a blue moon, I think about like I just recently found out that you can have them like undone. Like you can have somebody unlock your hair.
I bet that's expensive.
I have it's expensive and time consuming and
Yeah,
probably and
that's
like I know for a fact, especially like because I bleach my hair sometimes and like even like messing with the ones that I bleach with myself, some like it's it damages your hair. It makes it
yeah.
less strong. So I feel like the bleach ones I would probably lose a lot of length in. And like no matter what, you're gonna lose some length and you're gonna lose some like fullness. So like sometimes I think about having them undone and like redone. And then sometimes I think about like just cutting them off and starting over and like having somebody do them so that they're like even because like I've got one in the front here that I can't I just like it doesn't no matter how much I try to keep it twisted, it's so thick, it just doesn't stay twisted. Like I'm gonna have to like I saw a really cool process of using like crochet needles to
Untwist it or twist it.
to help it lock up on thick ones like that, like just the new growth area that's hard to do because it gets pulled so it's like straighter.
Well, considering how slow you're talking about how it grows, I would say look into it getting untwisted before you decide to chop it all off.
Yeah. But I missed that short time though. That was fun for me. I really like that. I have to show you a picture someday. Like my favorite picture of me and my siblings is right before I moved to Charleston. I was probably 18 or 19 and like my locks were still short and spiky and red. And I miss that. Like that was a really fun time. It would be fun to go back to that for a while, I think. And I also think about sometimes like trying something different with like wigs and stuff.
Wigs are
I've
cool. They're
never done
expensive.
that before.
Well,
Uh-huh.
the good ones are expensive. You can get a shitty
Yeah.
wig.
Oh yeah. I got a shitty wig from the costume shop and I was like the wig was basically gone by the end of the night.
Just falling out.
Yeah, like just really crappy synthetic wig. It was probably like $12. Like, yeah, that's that's crap. But
Word. Well,
I don't know, I think about doing that sometimes.
well, I think we're at a good stopping point.
Alrighty then.
That was fast. Thanks
Um,
for doing this.
yeah, buddy. I'm gonna eat the rest of my chicken.
Yeah, I saw you eating
Also,
chicken wings.
um, Chris Rock deserved it. That's all I had to say about that. I'd slap him too.
Eh,
Talk shit, get hit. Okay, done.
close us out.
Okay, bye.